Hey, it's your brother Vansilk. Today is Thursday, 16th. And I like to say, without causing any distractions, without causing any people with their opinions, because you're entitled to your own opinion. But I like to say rest in peace to JDL from the Cold Crush Brothers, Blondie from Sequence, and Afrika Bambaataa. Now, I've known all three of these people for at least 40 plus years, and they're no longer here. And I've seen a lot of the things that people were saying, and you're entitled to feel any way you want to feel. You'll have to excuse me. I'm out here walking. I've been kind of laid up because chemo's took a toll on me this week. I can't do the 3 days wearing a fanny pack. It may be 5 years. I'm still out here struggling. But I just wanted to say, from JDL, Hut Maker, we used to hang out back in the days, me, him, and Kaz, me, him, and cool DJ AJ. I had a lot of great times with Jerome, aka JDL. He will be missed. The last time I seen him was at the KRS-One Cedric Avenue 50th anniversary when the Cold Crush Brothers performed. That was the first time I seen JDL in like years. You know, because I've moved out of New York since '98. I don't really come up unless it's necessary. And it bothers me for the things that he was going through health-wise for months, which was kept kind of quiet. And I was getting, updates of how he was doing and what was going on. And, a lot of us who articulated the culture of hip-hop, we dying off for health reasons. Some of us are in the fourth quarter. And that's where it's at right now. We gotta make it what it is. We can't sit back and let them rewrite the history. We can't sit back and let them abolish the work and creativity that we put into what we call hip hop, because it ain't gonna happen. It's gonna take a lot of us to get together to make a effort and a great move to make sure that our legacy will not be erased. That's why the Hip Hop Museum is very important, for the younger kids to understand who did what, who's who. Rest in peace to my brother JDL. Salute to the Cold Crush Brothers, Grandmaster Kaz, Almighty KG, Easy AD, Tony Tone, Charlie Chase, and then you had the original Cold Crush early on with Ray Carter and a few members. Speaking of our queen, Blondie, it was just a year ago in March that we lost Angie Stone. When me and Angie was working on some things along with Shayna and her team, and we lost Angie on March 1st. That's the anniversary of my parents, who got married in 1958. Oh God. Angie took a lot from us because she had a lot to give. She had a sweet soul. Yeah, Angie had her ways, but she still had a sweet soul. And it was Blondie who had put together everything for Angie's homecoming. And I was supposed to go to Columbia, South Carolina and speak, but I couldn't because dealing with my health issues, which I really wanted to speak at Blondie's situation. But over the course of the year, Blondie was sick. I've gotten sick. And she's no longer here. There's only one surviving member of Sequence, first female rap group to go gold. The first group in hip hop to come from the South. Can't take that away from them. They added a lot to the Sugar Hill record label. They've done a lot. And I know we did the Ambassador Awards last November in New York with the Keith Cowboy Foundation. The Medal of Honor we gave one for Angie, which was received by Rodney Stone, her ex-husband. And this summer we was going to give one to Sequence. So now Blondie is gone. We have to pass it on and make sure that we take care of Cheryl the Pearl, because she's part of a legacy when it comes to hip hop. No two ways about it. No matter if they were the greatest MCs or whatever, they made in their tenure records. And it's just sad how sometimes they get overlooked when it comes to the females in hip hop. And it's sad that we still, in 2026, is going through who did what, and who did this, and who did that, and boom, 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 this, and boom, 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 that. And, you know, when you go and look at the Mercedes Ladies, who was the first female hip-hop group, who never got to record, you can't take nothing away from them. When you go and look at the females, DJs from Baby D to Lady Love to Wanda D, you can't take it away from them. When you go and look at Shot Rock and Lisa Lee and Bambaataa, and you go and look at Little Lee, rest in peace, and Pebbly Pool and Debbie D and the early females, even to the point you have to give Lady B out of Philly that accolades. You have to go and look back at Paulette Windley and Sweet Tea Windley, who might not have never been part of the hip-hop shows and stuff, but they made the record early on Windley Records. I mean, you still had other females like Missy D, and I mean, it's a whole bunch of them that's not getting acknowledged. And I'm talking about early. You had Miss Spinderella before the original Spinderella and Spinderella now. That was on the riverboat with the Funky Four. You still had a group out in Queens called Freaking Frack. We still have to acknowledge Sweet and Sour. So when it comes to the females, we got to get that whole chapter right. Now I understand the chapter, but I'm not going to sit up here and falsify the lineage in the culture of hip hop. Never will. Whether you like me, don't like me, it's your problem. Afrika Bambaataa. A lot of people had a lot to say about him. I keep my thoughts to myself. I know Chuck D made a comment. A lot of people took Chuck D's comment and ran with it the wrong way. And I called Chuck up and I talked to Chuck. And I understand exactly what he's saying, but people always want to create negativity. As far as Bambaataa is concerned, from the time that I've been around him, we always had mutual respect for each other. I know when I did RaPaMania, and it was the 15th anniversary of hip hop for RaPaMania. If you notice, I used the years 1975 to 1990. Now, in accordance to Kool Herc timeline and all that, I felt 1975 would have been more of a feasible year. So I asked Herc and I asked Bam, yo, I feel 1975 was more of a year to really start to pop off and the growth into what become the mud and dirt, the articulation of what we call hip hop. But everybody want to put themselves in a place that they didn't exist. You didn't move the needle. I have nothing against all the MCs in the park jams, because every MC came from the park. And a lot of people need to understand You contributed, and your contribution is what it is. You can't expect the world to know who you are, especially because everything is based off your recordings. Cold Crush ain't never had a hit record, but so many recordings of the tapes and the routines, that's what got them popular. Fantastic. Theodore and them. When you go look at Soul Sonic, the records, Curtis Blow, the records, Funky 4, the routines early on, the records, Furious 5, 3, 4, 5, the records. Meanwhile, in 77, in Harlem, they was doing their thing too. Force of 5 MCs, Mike and Dave, Crash Crew. You got groups to come later. Fearless, Treacherous, Spoonie G Solo, Eastside, my man Chucky Chuck from RaPaMania Inc, Move to Queens, Magnificent Seven, Ray Vaughn, Johnny Wah. So many brothers that's no longer here. Captain Rock, Andre Harrell, Mr. Hyde. I mean, we can go deeper than that if you want to. But Bambaataa always pissed me off. Because you know one thing about Bam, he was known as the master of records. Okay? He wasn't the greatest DJ in the world. Master of records. I mean, we'll be in a T-Connection and Bam will be playing. He'll be playing a record with a break beat to it, and next thing you know, he done threw on a Calypso or a soca record. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is he doing? But you can't take the history from the Jazzy 5 and Cosmic Force, everything that was being done, Disco King Mario, Cool D, Tyro Mixologist, Shango, can't take it away. No matter what happened in his personal life, be mad all you want. All that cancel culture and all that bullshit don't mean nothing to me because I'm not tied to no corporations. But I'm also saying, don't look at him. And we got the Jeffrey Epsteins and the Harvey Weinsteins and everybody in this entertainment world with the same type of shit. And the only time you're gonna get abandoned by people and get thrown and get outcast is when you get caught. Puffy is in part of that. Hey, listen, everybody did some dirty, nasty shit. And I'm not sitting up here defending nobody. But all I can say is, from Bam creating the Zulu Nation, chapters around the world, countries, everything, I can imagine from the mindset of being the whole culture of people that supported you in the years no longer was talking to you. It's like he might have well just been on Gilligan's Island by himself. But everybody has the right to pick and choose how you want to move. And I decided to stay silent because there was a lot of calls about what you're going to do, what you're going to do. You know what? I'm going to live my life. Only person he has to answer to is God. Some of you may not understand what I'm trying to say. You got to answer to God, your Lord Savior, whoever you worship, Allah, Jehovah. That is something that Bambaataa has to deal with. Another thing about Bambaataa now, I know you was like a couple years older than me, Bam, but come to find out we the same age. And songs like Planet Rock, looking for the perfect beat. You can go back to all those Zulu Nation anniversaries, the fun that everybody had, innocent people, not knowing what's going on in the person's life. Because I can hang around somebody and I leave that person, he could be doing a whole bunch of shit that I don't know what he's involved in. But I'm not going to sit here and drag that conversation. All I can say is we live once, we move once, and at the end of the day, 3 pioneers and legends of the culture of hip-hop is no longer here. And this is what I have to say. And I'm going to hope and pray that we don't get any more bad news anytime soon. We lost a great brother, Tyrone Williams. Lord says, I mean, if we want to go back and look at the books, I mean, just sit down and look at how Fat Man Scoop, you know, my brother K. Slay, and those that we lost over the last couple of years. All I can say is, may they rest. Those who forgive and not forget, just forgive. But everybody have skeletons in their closet. Now, what kind of skeletons you have? But I just know one thing. I'm not here to judge. Rest in peace to JDL. Rest in peace to Blondie. Rest in peace to Afrika Bambaataa. It's your brother Vansilk. I'm out.